Morning all. How are you? I'm the last session between your coffee breaks, so hopefully I won't take too long. So, from working with HR professionals, I know that you're all passionate when it comes to your employee benefits. Sometimes it can be a breakaway from the really serious employee stuff you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. That said, it's not easy when it comes to your employee benefits. I see workplace pensions and benefits of 2016 and beyond as an arena in a perpetual state of change. You just get your head around one piece of legislation, which they've just been mentioning now, when the next innovation or legislation busts through your door. From cloud-based technology to mobile, to the profound shift in the population in the UK, and the new social contract between you and your employees. I think we've passed the tipping point. There's no such thing as business as usual when it comes to your benefits. Benefits is such an important area that a recent survey found that you, HR, spend more time managing, broking, communicating your employee benefits when compared to the time that you spend on your annual salary and bonus reviews. There's a thought for you. Added to the time spent, you spend 30% plus of your total payroll on benefits alone. That's the examples we've seen across our clients. But here's a thought. How much time do you spend benchmarking, analysing data, and looking for trends across your benefits and pensions when compared to the work that you do around salary and bonus reviews? And how many times have you really thought about the solutions that you have in place and whether they really meet your organisational objectives? And once things are up and running, you're like, phew, this project's all done and dusted. How many times have you actually gone back to your board and shared your success stories and said this is how you would like to reinvest perhaps what you've saved the organisation? Yes, we've talked about salary sacrifice disappearing, perhaps, who knows, God knows what's going to happen. But the number of times I have sat down with clients and said, oh, you've had salary sacrifice for over 10 years. Where does that saving go? How much is it? How have you reinvested that in your business? And the blank faces I see is quite surprising. Some of you may have already started doing this for the newer solutions that you're looking at today and in 2016. Some of you may be sitting in here thinking, I have a market-leading benefits solution in place with all the mod cons, and we're all sorted in that area, don't need to worry about it. But hopefully, what I share with you in the next 10 minutes could be of value for you to retrospectively evaluate what you've already got in place and what you're considering for 2016 and beyond. As in today's business climate, it's more critical than ever that key stakeholders see a transparent view of what you're currently spending on benefits and the outcomes it gives the business. As even if you change nothing when it comes to benefits and pensions, which I doubt in the pensions area, when it comes to the total package, the total reward and benefits you offer your employees, costs are increasing in this area. Added to the current costs you're having to manage stress and well-being of your employees, which in turn will obviously help productivity, and of course provide support and education when it comes to retirement planning. And of course, now you're going to have to consider people who wish to take up flexible retirement. We have an aging workforce who might not be a problem to your business. These people could be the steady workforce you need in the future. And not forgetting retaining your talent. These people that you've invested all this time in training and developing, dealing with all their people issues, all of which you can find solutions for in today's marketplace, and some today as well that our colleagues will be talking about. All I'm asking you to do is to stop and think for a moment and really evaluate what you're doing. Behind me, you'll see a number of steps that will help you ask the right questions about your current benefits package and really question whether it's giving you value for money, but value for your business as well. We have just started our own insight into HR survey. And one key recurring theme that comes across is that when it comes to your benefits, you are looking for more focus on demonstrating the effectiveness and the value that benefits and pensions bring to your business. But added to this, the data and trends. Are people that you're wishing to retain and attract taking up the benefits and pensions that you have in place? So really looking at the systems that you have in place. With a view, of course, of future-proofing. Now, I know we don't know what's coming up on the 16th of March or what, the government's going to chuck at us next. But when you really sit down and think about your business needs, hopefully that provides you with a framework of what you can do in the future around what you're trying to achieve. And then you have to throw in all the other bits that the government throws at you. And look, you don't need an external advisor to come in and help you with this sort of stuff. But you might value someone independent within your business or external to come in and get your key stakeholders together to really discuss what the current challenges are in this area, both internal and external, some of which John mentioned earlier on, and really discuss what the future needs are of the business. And these stakeholders aren't just HR, payroll, and people in reward. Get other people within your business and get an influential board member as part of your team. When you all sit down in a room, and I've done a number of these workshops with our clients, you spend a good half day really thrashing out the issues, talking about the off-the-record stuff that you haven't discussed before. The outcome of this is your guiding principles when it comes to your pensions, benefit and reward. It's surprising for us that a number of clients don't actually have a defined principle when it comes to their benefits package. It's almost like you're trying to keep up with the latest changes. So every time you and your colleagues want to add, remove, change something when it comes to benefits, pensions and reward, you have a guide to tell you whether or not it's going to meet your business needs and requirements. I think this is the first critical step that many businesses forget. So here's a question for all of you, using your lovely 1980s keypads. In order of importance, why does your organisation provide employee benefits? Is it because you care about your employees, or because it helps you achieve strategic objectives, or because it's a hygiene factor, because you have to, because legislation makes you? So, for example, if number 3 is your most important factor, you press number 3 first, followed by the other 2 options of why your organisation offers benefits. Interesting. Okay. Look, there was no right or wrong answer. I just felt I was talking for 5 minutes, needed you guys to have a think about what I was saying. We appreciate the reason why your organisation offers benefits will shift predominantly between 2 and 3. At the moment, it's legislation driven. Later on, it could be that your strategic objectives have changed and you've acquired a new business and you need to be thinking about how that is going to fit into your overall thinking. What is interesting, especially with the legislative changes, as much as we kind of know what's coming up, the companies that we work with sort of keep that legislative change very last minute. It almost seems like a last minute panic. Oh, we've got to do this, rather than planning ahead. Yes, the government puts in deadlines as to when you need to do things, but actually, have you thought about what might work for your organisation? Is it best to do it around pay reviews, around your annual flex window? So really have a think about how and when you implement legislative changes. Maybe tax year is not the right time to do it. Have a think about whether you do it before or after then. For whatever reason you offer benefits, go back to my previous slide, please. Thank you. So for whatever reason you offer benefits, what will help you measure the effectiveness and hopefully get future funding in this area, because it can be difficult trying to get sign-off from your board members for benefit budgets, is after establishing your guiding principles, you must consider the reward and benefit structure together. What does it deliver? What's the tangible outcomes it brings your business? How many of you sat down and really thought about that? And what does it need to deliver in the future? So for example, is there a need to segment your benefit structure? I know 5 years ago when we were putting lots of flex benefits plans in, we want to harmonise, we want to have everyone having the same benefit structure. Actually, that might not be the right approach for your business. So for example, if you're in the retail sector, your head office staff may have a very different benefit structure to your retail staff. And geographically, what your employees have down south may differ very different from what your employees have up north. So a bit like a car scheme, salary sacrifice works really well up north, but actually might not work down south. So really have a think about that within your design. And before you agree any changes to your benefit structure, sit down with your stakeholders and discuss what you're planning. FDs love the new salary sacrifice car scheme because they're trying to get rid of the old legacy car schemes. So have you involved them in your discussions? And of course, is there anything else you could be considering that help your women's network, childcare vouchers, flexible working? This is all part of your total reward and benefits package. But it's really interesting how when we talk to HR, they just look at the benefits piece and the bottom line and, oh, we just need to review and broker this benefit and that's it. Look at things holistically, as this will later help you demonstrate the value the overall proposition brings to the business. And plan for and implement the changes. Think about other departments you need to involve in your thinking. Payroll helps lots when it comes to HR projects, but are there other areas that could be supporting you? For example, your internal communications team. You guys don't need to be delivering this. You can leverage off existing resource that could help you. And of course, think about your metrics of success. We are astonished at the number of times this area gets missed. All too many employee benefits are implemented on what's trendy at the moment, what you think your competition is doing because you've recruited someone from there recently, or what us, the market, are pushing at that moment in time. Rather, I feel what you're putting into your organisation should be based on what you're trying to achieve and what your people deserve. So your success matrix should really be based on the cost versus the outcome. So what outcomes are you trying to achieve? If it is health and productivity, why are you just renewing your PMI scheme, for example, with the existing provider? How does that link in with your sickness absence policy or your systems, if at all? Benefit reach. What is the level of take-up of the existing benefits that you have amongst the employees that you're trying to retain or a particular group that you're trying to attract? Yes, benefit advisors will say, oh yeah, your benefit take-up was, you had 80% take-up on your flex platform, great. But what if that's the workforce that I'm not looking to retain? You have to think about that. We have the technology to do it. And of course, use technology where it's relevant. Use it to reach those employees that, for example, might be on the road, might not be sitting on the desk. Use and send it to employees who know how to use technology and are IT savvy. Don't just send out links to modelers and systems for those who might not truly understand the impact of the financial decisions they're making through the modelers you've provided, because sometimes you do have to handhold certain individuals. And of course, use technology where it makes your life easier, rather than sitting there having to pull off reports. If a system can do it, go for it, because the cost of platforms has come down considerably. Okay, the time? Good. Many of you know me for a number of years, and yes, I could have talked about flexible benefits, online total reward, health and well-being, education. All of this is great and relevant stuff, and yes, people are talking about that today, and it's really important you get that in place at the right time. But what I feel is really important for you as HR at the moment is just to stop, take a breather, and evaluate what's needed for your business and design a plan which suits your business. So yes, 16th of March is coming, but how can you plan for the changes that suit your organisational needs? And of course, later, it will help you demonstrate to budget holders the outcomes the benefits delivers, and hopefully make life easier when it comes to signing off what you need in the future. Because look, whether you decide to keep things as they are or change things or put a lovely new system in. Costs are going to increase in this area, be it from a stress and health and well-being perspective or investing in a platform for your employees. What this approach will deliver, and I think you're going to get the slides after today, you can use this checkbox yourself and apply it to your own organisation. But this is really a living, breathing benefits business case. Once it's up and running, look, like I said earlier on, you're spending more time on benefits and pensions when compared to your salary review. This sort of stuff shouldn't take that long. But what it will do is it will help you get continued buy-in and engagement, because that's really important from key decision makers. Once you've implemented your current benefits or pensions issue or challenge for this year, it will allow you to demonstrate a clear return on investment and hopefully a future-proof benefit structure, because you've got those guiding principles in place as to why your whole organisation provides benefits and reward. And remember, once this is all up and running, continually check if the objectives are still the same, what are the take-up levels across the demographics, and of course, get feedback from your employees. For a number of you, I've done employee focus groups and surveys. Online surveys, I feel, are great, but when you go and see people and do face-to-face presentations and ask them what they really value as benefits, biscuits, someone got rid of Jaffa cakes within our organisation and it created an uproar. But it's really surprising what individuals value as benefits. So it's really good if you could go, maybe once every couple of years, meet your employees. Don't get us to do it yourselves. People like to see who their, benefit decision makers are within their organisation. And look, all of this stuff isn't rocket science. You're probably doing it in some shape or form. But what surprises us when we go in to talk to our clients is how often this stuff gets missed. So yeah, there you go. We've got a few minutes for questions, I think, Debbie.
Thank you very much, Dipa.